Alright, another truck review. This time it's the XF DAF. Now I have driven the DAFs before. This is the mid-roof one. I actually had a high roof last time. So I just sort of show you one of these. Now I've got this because Kenworth went in for a service and they found an oil leak down at the diff, so that's getting repaired, so I had to have this for a night. Kenworth should come back Monday, but I'll just give you my thoughts on these. Now, very simple dash, there's no LEDs on these. Not much information. Initially you can bring other things up, but they're very basic. Just got tacho and speedometer. Trip computer comes up temperature and time. Now that's about all, but there is a button down here where you can change things. Vehicle information. You can do the, it's got adaptive cruise control, so you can do distance and things like that, and you can do a speed limiter. Little dial down here you can turn, which changes the dash. You push that in the middle and it changes different things. There's a back button there. That's cruise control, adaptive cruise, economy driving, things like that. So speed information, so it's got different information. Services, trip information, and settings. Go to setting, do the clock and speed control, kilometers and miles, and there may be some night mode settings. I don't know what that actually does because I don't know too much about them. I haven't been in them long enough to find out too much. Now, similar to all the other trucks, steering wheel controls, phone and cruise control settings, lights up here, mirror controls, windows. Down here you got your heater. The it is automatic, so the drive and reverse, it's really all you got nowadays. Is on the dash is a switch. All the other controls here, like diff locks, that turns the dash lights up and down. You got traction control and hill start assist, all the usual things. Wipers are on the same spot as normal. Auto manual mode, and that's really all you got. Exhaust brake is pull down like most European trucks. Over here you got all the lighting controls. Quite a few light controls. You can do both lights or one light, all LEDs. Storage compartment down here. Cupboards, slide out drawer there, large fridge. Quite a few bottles in there, so it's got water in it. I actually cleaned it out there before I left, and the water comes back in it. I don't know why that is. Big tray up here. This is a good touch. Slide out tray. If you want to put having a meal, you can probably sit on the bed and have a meal as well, and use it as a tray. Put things on. Good for putting paperwork on when you're doing paperwork. Cup holders swing out. Can make them bigger, smaller. My cup doesn't fit in there. It's actually too big for that one, but that's just the way things are. Radio is exactly the same as a Kenworth, as their Packards. So exactly the same. Navigation system, of course. There's a camera. I don't know if I can get to actually come on. There's actually a camera on the left hand side for blind spot. It's a good touch. All trucks should have that. It should be standard in all trucks. Shouldn't be an option. Should be made mandatory, really. I'll just get out of the seat. Plenty of adjustment on this, which is down here. Pushes up, and you can tilt it up and down and things like that. So as per normal, plenty of travel in this seat. Now the seat is quite comfortable. Decent padding, but it's a little bit hard. Lumbar support's really good. I've still got plenty of room. I can sort of stretch out quite a bit, and still got room at the back to put the seat back further, so it'll be a little bit taller. I'll just get up into here. This has got bunks. No storage, a little bit of storage there. So if you're travelling as a 2-up team, there wouldn't be a lot of space to put personal things like bags and things like that. You probably want the high roof one. High roof one's got more storage, I believe. There is a lot up here. Like if you have a small cupboard and a little shelf, and you have to, maybe the other driver can have this, but as a 2-up truck, I would think it's a little bit tight. Not much room, and you'd be moving bags all the time. As a single driver, you may be able to get some storage up the back without the bunk. Not quite sure. Not sure the configuration. This mattress is very thin as well. This one's quite wide and quite soft. Foam mattress. Sunroof up here. Now, you can stand up in them. They are. The high roof one's quite tall. I really can't even reach when I reach up on the taller ones. This is a mid-roof one, I'd imagine. It comes in a lower roof, I'm pretty sure it does. Probably for just around town sort of work. Plenty of visibility. Mirrors are the same as Kenworth. But definitely plenty of space, plenty of storage. I haven't found a USB port. Now that's a bit odd, but there is two 12-volt cigarette ports. Might be a USB. Oh, there's one up here in the radio, but there's no extras that I've come across. I haven't found any down here either, which is quite odd. They could put a couple of USB ports in, use up these somewhere. Maybe that's because of the price. Now this is only a 530 horsepower. There is I think they do come a little bit bigger. They might come in at 580. But there is a 660 coming, which is what it needs. A 530 is definitely not very powerful. If you're doing weights, B-doubles, road trains, that would be very slow up hills. They go really well on the flat, but up hills, they really die off quite quick. So that's a disappointment for me. For what I do, it's okay, because I don't do big weights. If you're just doing single trailers or light weights, it would be adequate. But you really need that bigger horsepower, which they're bringing out next year, and I think that's the reason for it. They're probably not selling as many as what they do on Kenworths. value for money, they're probably really good. Look, I haven't... Anyone, I've only driven this for one night, so I can't talk too much about it. I will do an on-road test, show you what it's like on the road, and tell you my thoughts. But I like it. I would drive it all the time. It's very comfortable, very soft in the suspension. A bit like the early Volvos. I think the later Volvo was a little bit tighter in the suspension, so is the Scanias and the DAF XF, of course. But enough space for one person. I believe the bed's adequate, quite big if I was going to do interstate with it full time. So I'll show you the outside. This is just a quick rundown, my thoughts, only my opinions. I don't drive them all the time. Someone can make some comments if they're any good over long periods of time. Things that they've found that they don't like. I haven't really seen too much I don't like. The radio system speakers seem to be better than the Kenworth. I don't know why. Maybe because it's quiet and they might sound a bit better. Kenworths are a little bit more noisy. But I would drive it all the time. Now I'll just show you the outside and tell you anything I don't like about the outside. Alright, we're just outside now. Seating's pretty good. As I say, plenty of lumbar support. Air ride system's really good, nice and soft. Very good getting in and out. Not high off the ground, but only 3 steps. So easy getting out. The doors aren't real huge. They're quite small, so the wind doesn't catch them. Little tiny locker box. Not much room in there, but you can reach everything, which is a nice height. One on the other side as well. Close that up. So they're very square, very boxy. Big plastic guards. Blow a tyre, you'd destroy those pretty quickly, and they probably wouldn't be cheap either. But quite a long chassis. Everything's built into these plastic guards. A bit like Scania, I guess. Got the European styling. I don't mind it. I think it's okay. If you want to customise them, you'd have to change all this, put a light bar on the back if you wanted chrome guards and things like that. So large fuel tank on one side, small one on the other. Of course, the burn off system. It's done 32,000 Ks, so it's not that old. Rusty nut covers, but very boxy, very square. But I don't mind the square shape of a truck, so that's just a personal preference. This one has a bull bar. No stone guard, thank goodness. But of course the taller one got the lights on the corners and driving lights and things like that, so they're a bit more of a bigger presence on the road. Comparing it to the older Argosies, they're not about the same height. So that's it. That's what I drove last night. It's just a quick review of my opinions. And I'll do a review on the road as well. Now, as I mentioned, I'll just show you what they're like on the road. Tell you my opinions. Everything's easy to see. The switches, gauges on the dash. Steering wheel controls, they all come up sort of red. So really easy to see. You can turn them up. I've got them turned down at the moment because there is a, at night, there's a bit of reflection on that blind spot mirror. So I did turn my gauges down. It's not bad now because the sun is coming up a bit. So you can turn up the brightness, make things a little bit easier. Now this has lane guidance as well, as you just heard the noise before. Now as for driving on the road, very stable. Not much movement in the steering. It's quite good, solid. It's not wandery at all. Now, as I mentioned, it's done 32,000 kilometres. So that could have something to do with it. It's been running a little bit. Easy to see out of. Side windows, large front window. Very easy to see what's going on around you. Mirrors are easy to see out of. I've got that camera for the blind spot, which I guess you can fit to any of these trucks with the, and it comes up on the radio screen and navigation screen. They are soft in the suspension, unlike the down cross Kenworths, a little bit stiffer in the suspension. These ones do rock around a lot. Now I have driven the high roof one of these, and they seem to move around. Well, visually they seem to move around a lot more. It could be just because they're so high. But these being the mid-roof one isn't as bad. Now they do lack in horsepower, and this is their downside. That's why I would say they're going to the 660 horsepower, because I think that's letting them down. Especially up hills, and I'm just light, and you do notice the big difference. They do drop off really quick. Now something at 60 ton, 63 ton, this would be really die on hills. And that would put quite a few owner-operators from buying them. Fleets probably don't matter so much, but if you're only doing light work, we're doing single work, they'd be adequate. Something I would buy. Now if I was learning to drive, I hadn't had much experience, this would be a great truck to learn in, to gain that experience, because it's so easy to see out of, so easy to drive. So if you're a fleet owner, employing a lot of new drivers, don't mind employing new drivers, or you have a lot of agency drivers that you don't know their experience, this would be a great truck for them as well. So I'm just about at my destination to get some fuel. Just got to do a top up. So I'll leave this video here. Stay safe out there. There has been in quite a few incidents, especially in the blind spots lately.